You know, there's a saying going around on social media or whatever it may be saying, give them their flowers. Give them their flowers while they're here. Because you know, for the most part in the so called black community, people don't get acknowledgement, recognition, respect, admiration for the things that they've done on the earth until they're dead and gone. And that's sad, but the cycle will forever continue because people do things, people get rubbed the wrong way, people get offended, people get jealous, people get envious. The list goes on, so they don't see things in a rational way. When it came down to LeVar Ball, a lot of people were rubbed the wrong way. A lot of people were annoyed that he was on ESPN, Fox Sports Network all of the time, talking about Lonzo, talking about this, pulling LaMelo out of school, parental decisions, being dragged through the mud. The list goes on. LeVar Ball pretty much is the prototype of the so-called strong black father with a plan. From the woman that he knew that he was going to get pregnant, to the moves that he made, to the designations that he said will be there for his sons, for the most part. You got to give the man his flowers. You got to give a man his props. Whatever he said, he meant it and he called it. To the point that he said he's going to rock an I told you so hat. And the man did it. Sitting front row with his wife, watching his two boys play like it's bitty basketball. The only people on ESPN, Fox Sports Network that I saw giving the man his praise, that I saw shouting out Melo, Lonzo, Jello, Jalen, and Jacoby. That was even before they even got on to ESPN too. To the point that Jalen is begging and yelling and calling for LeVar to adopt him. What is that saying subconsciously? Just to peel back the onion. We already know that Jalen didn't grow up with his father, just like so many brothers across the nation. So many people can grow envious of Lonzo that he has a dad like LeVar. They wish that they had a dad, i.e. Charles Barkley. He wished his father was LeVar Ball, just like Jalen Rose. A man with a plan, a man that wants to do the best for you. They could drag his name through the mud. They could try to call him the worst father, all of that nonsense back in the day. But what can they say now? They're all shut mouth. LaMelo reigning rookie of the year. Lonzo improving. Jello making his way. What can you say? He's still the worst father? You still going to drag him through the mud? Or are you going to try to ride his Johnson and jump on the bandwagon like the rest of the bozos? Neither here nor there.
One player that we always have our eye on here at Jalen and Jacoby is LaMelo Ball. We picked him early. When he was in high school, we were in love with his game, and he is truly one.
And I'm going to give y'all that. This is what happens when you have the internet. You got receipts. You could pull them up on anybody that's a notable figure that's on any of these alphabet platforms.
Of one. Well, he might be one of two because there were two Ball brothers on the floor last night, of course, in Chicago. Lonzo for the Bulls and LaMelo for the Hornets. And there was one possession, or sort of two possessions, that really just showed the brilliance of these two players. It is first Lonzo Ball. You see him in the corner there, getting an open pass, knocking down a three. And then just with no break in the action, LaMelo takes the ball out. You know, a little drive from Bridges, kicks it back out. And then LaMelo hits a three right there as well. Back-to-back Ball brothers. Jalen, I loved seeing this sibling rivalry play out in high school, overseas, and now here it is, right on an NBA stage.
I love it so very much, especially since there only been approximately 4,000 people to ever play in an NBA game. It always has been impressive.
Jalen is always pulling out the solid numbers. You heard that? About 4,000, and you're LeVar Ball, and you got two, maybe even three kids that might get into the league to get into that elite group. Get a man his flowers.
To me, whether it's the Currys, the Plumlees, the Holidays, I could go on and on about the brothers that have siblings, not only in the NBA, but in professional sports. But there are not many starting point guard jobs in the NBA. It's only 30 teams. And for you to have two sons both doing that, getting great contracts and have great careers happening, it's really remarkable for their parents and for their family.
Great point.
In last night's game, how about Vucevic? Like, he's always been a scorer.
Vucevic is a problem. Just talking about this with my brother the other day. You cannot overlook the Bulls. Lonzo, Levine, who has always been trying to prove to people that he's more than a dunker. You got DeRozan, who's always been solid in the mid-range game. And then you got Vucevic, who's always been known as a Nick killer, a double-double walking. That's a problem. Then you got Caruso. I don't know, man. The Bulls can make some noise. Anything's possible. I don't see any favorite out of the East.
And a guy that could get you that 20 and 10 in particular in Orlando. But adding that three ball, didn't miss from three land. And like I told you, DeRozan and Levine, they going to be 20, 25 every night. It's just about the efficiency. So the Bulls, again, for a lot of people, seem to be a surprise. They'll come back to the pack some. They're not going to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, but they have a legitimate chance to be number 4 or so. And it's great to watch how they continue to mature and grow as a roster.
Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie into a microphone. I may have had some not nice things to say about LeVar Ball.
Yes, you did, Jacoby. It is what it is. We all were there. Even myself, I could become pretty dismissive of situations, certain people that might be in the limelight every now and then. People might be talking about them. I might not dig into the story, and I'm guilty of that. I was dismissive of the LeVar Ball story. I was just like, why is this guy on TV all the fucking time? Until I dive in, I peep that they're trying to use him for clicks and views because he's going to say something that might just be Twitter worthy, Instagram worthy. Somebody chop it up and it's laughs and giggles and whatnot. Because you can't predict LeVar Ball. You can't control LeVar Ball.
During the sort of peak of his popularity, and I may have doubted the success of all of his sons, but guess what? I was wrong, and he was at the game last night with a hat on that says, "I told you so." He got a
hat that I said, "I told you so," and he got his boys on his face like they about to go into a boxing match. Triple B's.
On that says, "I told you so," and a picture of 2 of his sons on his sweatshirt, along with his wife, Tina, who has dealt with some health issues. Just put yourself in the head of LeVar Ball. What's he thinking right now?
It's an incredible feeling, Jacoby, and I told you so is exactly right because he did just that. And he and his wife, Tina, have done a terrific job of nurturing young men who are not only productive NBA players, but are quality young men. And so I also thought about the fact that I didn't see them necessarily front row in Los Angeles or at Pelicans games or even in Charlotte. That was in Chicago. And so that stood out to me. But again, I'm really happy for them. I'm really happy for their family. And he come on this show with LaMelo while he was in high school and let us know that these guys had game. He was exactly right.
He let everybody know, Jalen, and everybody was trying to go against him. Everybody wanted to question everything that was coming out of his mouth. But what can they say now, Jalen? I'm going to give it to y'all, too, because y'all been consistent. Y'all call out when y'all wrong. Y'all call out what y'all see. And that's exactly why you got to get a man his flowers. He said what he said. He stood by it. He's unapologetic. It is what it is. He's that old uncle that you got at the barbecue that's going to crack those jokes and tell you how it is. That's why Jalen wants to be adopted. And on the low, Charles Barkley wished that LeVar was his pops also. Everybody wanted to talk shit about him. He should stay out of his kids' business. It's their lives. All of these people that don't have children. All of these people that don't have a plan, that are envious of other blue check marks and celebrities on social media. You know what I mean? Bunch of fanboys that are analysts couldn't stand LeVar. Bunch of feminists wanted to say that he hates women, but he has a wife. All of these angles, all of these tactics that they used on LeVar. Meanwhile, he's still here. Meanwhile, 2 of his sons are starting point guards in the league at the same time. A lot of people are eating crow, and it's wonderful. It's enough of that, though. I'm out.